Alright, hi everybody, thanks for joining me. It's your weekly Dragonfly stream where I spend far too much time talking about my favorite video game, but that's what you're here for, aren't you? Today we've got Johnny being played by Omito versus Raven being played by Zadi, and these are, in the history of Exerd, probably two of the best players to ever play their respective characters. This is still the early phases of the tournament, or of the league that would lead to the finals, so they're still sort of feeling each other out. There's going to be a little bit of that. They haven't necessarily had a ton of opportunity to play a ton of long sets against each other. I'm not exactly sure what the practice regimen for both of them was going into this. But I can tell you that the matchup in this version of the game is actually a little better for Raven. Currently, in like the final version of the game, Rev 2.1, Raven is capable of fighting Johnny, but it's not a good matchup. It's, you know, maybe it's like a 3-7 instead of an 8-2, or like a 4-6 instead of a 3-7. The reason for this is that Johnny got nerfed in Rev 2.0, like Rev 2, the game version, from Revelator when he had been added. There were two things that were, well, there was one pretty major thing actually. In Revelator, Johnny could pretty reliably get, he could pretty reliably set up mist unblockables, like Bacchus Sai, which puts the mist on you, and then Mist Finer, which is unblockable with the mist. And he could do that off of like air throw or like random knockdowns or whatever. So I believe in addition to a change to his air throw, which made it no longer like totally free to get that, the mist unblockable itself was actually nerfed. So it's no longer a true unblockable that just bypasses your guard because you had the audacity to get hit by Johnny and get comboed. Instead, in this version of the game, and in the current version of the game, it forces you into stagger, so you can think of it almost like a soft unblockable, if there is such a thing. The difference between Rev 2.0 and Rev 2.1 is that in Rev 2.1, the duration of the stagger was buffed so that it gets better or it lasts longer depending on the Mist Finer level. In this, it's always the worst, so it's a little, I believe it's going to be a little bit awkward for Omito playing Johnny to convert off of the unblockables. As it probably should be, but that's not the version of the game that we've been playing for the last 7 years, pardon me. There was a bug related to the mist unblockable in Revelator, and that had been fixed, although given the nature of the bug, it had a less impact than you'd think. The bug was, Johnny could put the mist on you, and then you could hit him, and the mist would go away, but you were still considered to be in the mist state. So Mist Finder was unblockable against you. Because of the way Johnny tends to play in Exerd, this was actually not something that people really noticed, because the Johnny player himself would see the mist disappear from you, and he would know that he had no real reason to just throw out a Mist Finder. But anyway, that all got fixed, so if the mist is no longer on you, then you're not going to eat an unblockable. In Rev 2.1, the final version of the game, Zweihander, which is the air knockdown move, got quote-unquote nerfed by being made larger so that it's harder. The intention was that it was harder for Johnny to get only the first hit. There's Omito and Zadi RPSing for player side. And that change ended up being mostly a buff to Johnny, I think. It ended up being inconsequential, and the hitbox is larger, so I guess maybe a buff overall? I don't know. You can just do combo routes that still hit anyway, or that still set up a single hit Zwei without a ton of improvisation, so it had really no impact on how good he was. Throughout Revelator, Revelator and Rev 2, Johnny's normals have been the best normals in the game, and that has not changed. And that's why he wins most matchups. He's very mobile, he has the best normals, he kills you off of every hit, he converts off of every hit. So, how does Raven approach this matchup? If you've watched my balance video, you know that Raven got pretty serious changes in Rev 2.1 and 2.0. Sorry, I'm being blinded by this commentary. Blinded by a wave of nostalgia. I love these guys. Anyway, in Rev 2.0, Raven you're going to see this, the ground orb stays near the ground. So he's going to do something like a sweep, he's going to do a knockdown, and then he's going to get Glide Oki off of that sweep because the projectile covers it. I'm just going to fast forward here so that we can get to past the player interviews because I can't understand a word of this. This is Omito talking. Omito is well, I'll get to the players later. Another thing about Raven in 2.0 is that he had the benefits of his new excitement system. So he still snowballed really hard, but he also had, he still had that orb. So he got really stable, repetitive set play that just looped back into itself with basically zero execution. One thing that is also coming up as I'm watching more of these games is that people are generally like worse at the game. Like you might actually see Omito drop a combo or two here, which he just wouldn't later. So Raven having gimmicks like his command grab, which is reactable, or his normals, which are all disjointed as hell, or his dash or his glide or whatever. People had less opportunity to practice and lab those, so they're more powerful. I'll talk about the players a little bit and their psychology, but first we need to see some Exerd memes and fan art. There's an astonishing amount of fan art for these two characters, and it makes sense because people loved Omito, because he played Johnny. Johnny's so cool. I'm kind of surprised that people liked Zadi though, because people in the West despised Raven. I think in Japan they were much more accepting of him. This is awesome art, by the way. Shoutouts to whoever actually drew this. It's awesome. This is also awesome art, but for different reasons. Never bait command throw. Good old Shark Johnny and Raven putting his arm down. That's... Yeah, Raven does seem like the kind of guy who would just reach his hand into a shark tank. Just for the fun of it. Another thing, Zadi, the player, really likes ice cream, so here's fan art of Raven reaching for ice cream, and you're gonna see more ice cream in the fan art. It's so beautiful.
Zadi loves ice cream, so he's going up for the anti-grab to catch the ice cream. There's an ice cream machine in Mikado, he always gets ice cream.
Here's another ice cream machine, Zadi eating it from it. Omito throwing a coin into the machine. And this big old pile of, this is just sweets, I think. This is so cute. This is cute as hell. This is kawaii as hell, dude. Cool memes. Yes, I agree. The memes are very fun. They're very cool. There's a kind of like innocence about this sort of stuff that I think is sadly lacking from the modern social media age. I mean, look at this. This is just friggin' awesome. Again, they're looking... it looks so cool. It looks so serious, but they're just chowing down on ice cream and little cakes. Little strawberry cakes. They're just like me, dude. They're trying to be cool. But they're addicted to ice cream and cakes. And here's just more awesome art. Who is this artist? Okay, no, I was thinking of someone else. Those brains need carbs. Yes, they need carbs, they need sugar, they need all sorts of stimulants. More fan art. Like, Exerd was a pretty friggin' popular game. It had like a pretty cool community. There's this perception of it as being not that popular in the West, but like among people who played anime games, I think it was generally like the most popular Guilty Gear has ever been, which was really cool. It came out at that perfect bridging point of Street Fighter being ass and people looking for non-Street Fighter games to play, and also having like ground fundamentals, but also having a really nuanced air game. And a lot of other games tend to skew a lot of anime games tend to skew towards just being in the air. like Blaze Blue or Melty Blood. Anyway, player matchup. Omito plays very stylish and very flashy when he's streaming, or when he's just playing for fun. In tournaments like this, or in in events like this or larger tournaments, he plays like a killer. Everything is clean, everything is calculated, everything is very precise. Zadi is, you know, it's been so long since I've really seen him play in comparison to the other Ravens. I'm having a bit of trouble like identifying or putting down his style. But if I had to describe it, I would say he's like the default fundamental Raven that we all try to emulate. He's willing to play lane, he's willing to zone, he's willing to go in when he needs to. He's very well balanced. Someone like PETA, who is like the modern representative of Raven, who actually achieves success with Raven. PETA is like all aggro all the time because he brings the European playstyle or the European mindset to Raven. Someone like Manny Blaze, who's like also very aggressive, but also willing to back off. And then you have somebody like Adapt or Babaloo, who are very defensive and willing to pick their times. Anyway, so yeah, so this matchup is like perhaps almost even in this version of the game. Yeah. Oh, there's that orb. Sorry, let's take a moment to appreciate this orb. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's that's nice. We also saw something a couple of times there, which is like Omito gets like 2 hits and he drops his combos, or he's whiffing buttons like that. Very strange. It is so strange to look back at the game in this time period and see Omito like actually make mistakes. Yeah, like it's just a bit messy here because Raven went for the glide option and he actually ended up going over Johnny's head, so it didn't quite work out. Oh, you fool, you mashed into a coin. Well, that was Omito doing a bad combo into a reset and going for the tech trap, or the tech grab with jump H. Yeah, nice blit. What's the fucking thing about this? Okay, let's explain how Johnny's unblockable works, and why it's stupid, and why he shouldn't have had it in this game. Okay. Spends 50 meter, not doing the finesse option of like single hits Y. This is just single hits Y-hander, Red Roman cancel. Sets up the mist. Backs off to a safe distance. This is outside of like every reversal super range in the game. This is outside of every like wake up option. This is outside of burst range. Okay. He does coin. Coin hits meaty and he's plus a bajillion. In this case, Zadi decides to blitz the coin as a wake up option. And Omito does not go for 2S, because you can see Raven is doing standing blitz here. If Raven had done standing blitz and Omito had done 2S, then Raven just would have gotten hit. I think technically, if 2 hits are making contact with you on the same frame, the projectile counts, so you could do wake up blitz against the projectile. But Johnny can also feint it, so that they can just do a delayed projectile, so that it's ambiguous which is going to hit first, or he can intentionally whiff the projectile through your body so that it's not there for you to blitz. So it's not as though blitz is a great option here. It is one thing that you can do in the RPS. Then this is like the ideal possible situation for Raven, because Johnny actually whiffs Mistfinder and spends all his levels. Problem is you still have the mist on you, so Mistfinder's still unblockable. And you can see Omito just throws out Mistfinder because he's like, oh hey, it's unblockable. Yeah, okay, you're just dead. Fine. So that situation is going to come up a lot because Johnny is pretty damn good at rooting into unblockables. Interesting. Oh, okay, that's like a character specific thing then. Zadi knows that. Oh my god, the active frames on close slash, that's really funny. Yeah, that is one thing that Raven had. That's two things actually that Raven has that make this matchup tolerable for him, and these continue into the current version of the game. Raven 5H is a hell of a button. Zadi does not mindlessly buffer into scratch as I would have, so that doesn't lead to a knockdown. Raven's stance also a very good defensive and anti-air option, and being able to anti-air Johnny in any consistent manner is really nice. Then you get this good-ass orb. Johnny can actually backdash this, but like nobody backdashes this for whatever reason. I don't know. Yeah. I was wondering why he didn't do TK orb, but he doesn't even need to. Look at this orb again. So it's air orb. And it's just like, just do the combo, dash orb. Oh my god. Oh, just eat that 4-hit. Oh, just eat 4 hits. No execution. No timing. Oh, it's so nice. Yeah. I should also point out that even against a character like Raven who has low defense, or like who has low guts during the first half of his life bar, Johnny does so much fucking damage. Like here's him, this is the first hit of Johnny's sweep, and he's comboing into coin. Coin also like screws up the damage scaling, makes the combo do a lot less damage. And this is just like that was what? That was gonna be like 40%? Just from like some random hit of sweep. Like the character does so much damn damage. Goddamn damage. Unblockable? No. Just OTG. With the throw because he OS, yeah. This doesn't kill Raven, but he is pretty close. Yeah, and this is the really crazy thing about Johnny in this game. You saw him do IAD Zweihander in the air as a mix-up option. There are layers to Johnny's mix-up that he never even has to interact with or represent. Like, Johnny can do air Mistfinder stance, which is really cool, and he can actually like dash back and forth above your head when he's in air Mistfinder stance and do like semi cross-ups like that. And you just never see him do that, or you never see him do IAD Zweihander, because Zweihander is so fucking stupid, and Coin is so fucking stupid, and his normals are so fucking stupid. Raven has the highest guts in the entire game. If it were another character, he may have been dead by that one. So, not quite. Raven has the highest guts, but guts only kick in at about 50% of your life bar. That's something that is slightly different from the older games, where I think they kicked in slightly earlier, but they were less pronounced. In this game, they kick in at 50% universally, but they are not as... Or they are... How to put it? The math is a little different, that's all I'm trying to say. So... For the first half of your life bar, for the first half of Raven's life bar here, he's going to take a little bit more damage because his defense modifier is like 1.11, so he takes like 11% extra damage. But when he gets into the guts range from like 50% down, that ramps up really fast. So the first half of his life bar tends to evaporate, whereas the second half is like really dense. So he actually has like functionally normal health. It's just like kind of extreme. This is the set play that they took away from Raven, probably for good reason. It's like mid-screen dust into sweep into high-low, sweep into the same high-low, sweep into orb into high-low again. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Actually, let me look at this. I'm curious if the issue here happens. Does he... Okay, no, not quite. There's a weird thing in Guilty Gear where your last airborne frame is considered to be grounded. I think it's just legacy spaghetti code. Here's like the second to last airborne frame, and then here's Raven being grounded, and then here's Johnny doing the throw. If it's actually possible to throw Raven out of the air on his last airborne frame, nobody actually like times it. It just happens sometimes. And in that case, you'll see Johnny do the first frame of his throw animation like this, but it would be against Raven in the air, and then it would go to this. So in this case, there was just like a 1 frame gap where Zadi was minus. Actually, that orb was pretty fast in this version, eh? Yes, it was. It was absolutely very fast in this version of the game. Oh, 6k. That's another fucking stupid-ass normal that barely got nerfed. It did, like, functionally, it did not get nerfed. Because 6k from Johnny, when he was first introduced, was +1 at worst, if he hit you immediately. Whereas it got nerfed so that it's -1 at worst. Yeah, so it's not like a huge difference, and he moves forward during the active frames anyway. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just in love with this Raven set play. This is so fucking nice. I'm kind of astonished at how much Zadi is doing close slash and having it actually kind of work out. Because Raven close slash is arguably one of his worst normals, and it almost never works out the way you want it to because of the extreme pushback. Which is funny because the second hit is actually larger than the first hit, specifically to counteract that, but because of Raven's tendency to throw himself at his opponent and sort of build up pushback in a block string, that pushback usually gets applied on like the second hit of Raven doing the ground block string, like 2k close slash. So he tends to get like slingshotted backwards during the active frames of close slash, so that the first hitbox will connect, but the second won't. Yeah. So afterwards, after an exit, I'm not sure exactly what happened to these guys, because I think this was probably like the height of their ability. Omito went on to have that famous set against Nage at EVO Japan 2020, whereas Zadi, I mean, he's sort of like semi-retired. He was sponsored by an agency. I'm not sure exactly what happened though. Man, Zadi is so fast. Like he makes Raven look like Raven's movement isn't weird. I should also point out, you can see that several times in this round already, Zadi has gone... He's had opportunities to spend meter on block to force a mix, and he's chosen not to because he's trying to save his meter. It's very important to conserve your meter when you're playing this character, even more so than other people. Because Raven's not... I mean, he's like a good character, but he's not amazing unless he can get his snowball started. Because there, you see, like, he's literally spending meter on a wire seed just to get out of the corner, doing it again. Because he just wants to get back to the middle of the screen. Oh yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate, because Y-hander does count as a projectile. Yeah, that's like an ideal round start for Raven. Is stancing a coin. Oh, fun fact, if you stance a coin, it denies the level that Johnny gets from the coin, which is actually an extremely relevant thing in the matchup. And that's, you know, it's basically ideal that you stance both the coin and the normal that Johnny does after the coin. Nice blitz. That's another thing you never see Johnny do, is just regular, they call it transport, just doing this Y without doing his Y-hander. Like, he covers 3/4 of the screen, like, almost instantly. And he almost never has to do just the motion, or just the transport by itself. Because everything else is so good. Hey, what did I tell you about, air throws and unblockables? Let's look at this. So we get the air throw, and this used to be what was it in the old version of the game? I think he could like combo off of air throw or something, but he just gets like a semi-fake mist stance here. So he has to do block string into mist finder, and then he spends meter, so that this is the level 3 mist finder that has the that has only level 1, what would now be level 1 stagger on it, just to force the combo and force action from Zadi. Zadi bursts, expecting an immediate combo follow-up from Omito, and Omito just takes his combo. Now this is Raven Guts kicking in, because with that little bit of risk built up, and with that starter to the combo, most other characters would have been dead, I think. But Raven gets to survive it because of his guts, which he does actually need. It's one of his more relevant defensive options. Oof. Yeah, that's another thing about Johnny. It's so difficult to know exactly what range he's going to occupy because of the forward dash being so fast. And now you're in Johnny jail. Crazy good mash from Zadi. Omito just holding up or something, I guess. Trying to time a blitz, maybe? Yeah, there's what I'm talking about. This is a great example of the damage scaling of Raven Guts, but also, I guess more the damage scaling of Coin. So Zadi gets hit by 5k to start this combo. And like the first hit of the combo does this much damage. And then he does 2 coins here. And then the next 3 hits do like that much. Like that's what Coin is supposed to do to a combo. The issue is that Johnny gets level 3 Mistfinder off of everything. And level 3 Mistfinder lets you do combos that more than make up for the damage that Coin is supposed to stop from you. Oh my god. This is... my heart goes into my throat every time I see anyone have to block against... because you can't block. Yeah, that orb is nowhere near real, but Omito stands up into it anyway. What a nice guy. Oh, pardon. Sorry, hang on. I think I should still be live. I adjusted my internet slightly. Let me... yeah, I should be here. Yeah, you should be able to hear me. Someone asked... yeah, sorry, I can't pronounce that because it's in Cyrillic. I don't play Exerd, but I have played a lot of Plus R, so I'm curious. Why, in this version of the game, he is one of the best characters, and in Plus R, he is just mid-tier? Isn't his kit relatively just the same? Short answer, no. So in Plus R... Johnny has a lot of very specialized combo moves, and it's also... the characters generally are a lot different to combo in that game compared to this game. In this game, because of the slowdown on Roman cancel and the characters generally being larger on the screen, and the hurt box is not deforming a lot during combos, Johnny can more reliably get good combos. In Plus R, Johnny has to be very specific about how he combos people, and converting from stray hits is very difficult. In this game, they removed a lot of his specialized combo options. I'm gonna get the names wrong, but in the old game, he has like... he has, what is it? The move where he reaches down in the air, Divine Blade, which is the punch. And then he has Zweihander, I think, which is the kick. It's called Zweihander in this game. I think it might be called something else in the other game. He's also got... fuck, the move where there's a move where he reaches down in the air. I think it's called Killer Joker. Yeah, it's called Killer Joker. He doesn't have that in this game. It's literally all just Mistfinder stuff. Mistfinder and Zweihander. And they wanted to make it so that he was more focused, because in the older games he had both those specialized combo moves and the coin Mistfinder level system. So in this game they wanted to make the coin stuff more prominent. But in doing that, they just buffed the hell out of coin. It just does, I think it does like 8 or 9 more frames of block stun than it used to, for whatever reason. He also can OTG you twice, because coin is just a better move, and it's faster. So in the older games, if he ever OTG'd you with 1 coin, he was getting 1 Mistfinder level, period. And in this game he gets 3, or he gets 2, up to level 3. Also in the old games, his level 3 Mistfinder was the Mist Storm slash, which was like 10 different slashes, and that was not always the best combo ender, or the best way to combo. Whereas in this game, Mistfinder level 3 is essentially just a strict upgrade over Mistfinder's Mistfinder level 2. So yeah, he's a lot more consistent, his kit is a lot better, he's focused around doing one particular thing and doing it incredibly well. Also, they made the execution for a lot of stuff significantly easier in this game. Not just because of the character mechanics, or because of the universal mechanics, but also character stuff. Did you know that in this game, if you have level 3 Mistfinder, you can do a fastest possible mist cancel just by... so the input normally would be the motion to go into Mistfinder, like 214K, and then you would push H to cancel out of Mistfinder stance. In this game, if you're at level 3 Mistfinder, you can just input 214K plus H, and you will get the earliest possible mist cancel at level 3. So all of the hard stuff that he does is actually like auto-timed and auto-baked. Also, his defensive options are fucked up in this game. This is a perfect example. And thank you for asking that question, by the way. Wait, Mistfinder is 214 in this, not 236? That's correct, yes. They did that to reduce input overlap. Personally, I think it feels better on a 214 motion. 236 is kind of weird. Anyway, also his defensive, he has like a almost safe, a mostly safe reversal super, and a literally safe or mostly safe dead angle attack. So if you look at it here, Raven goes for empty low, Johnny does dead angle, and it actually goes over Raven's head for a bit, which means that it hits later. Johnny dead angle is -6 at worst, and it has 10 active frames, so it can actually be plus on block, which I'm pretty sure is unique among all dead angles in the entire game, with like maybe the exception of Potemkin's. But Potemkin's dead angle is actually counter hit recovery, because it's big and it's active. Johnny's has neither of those problems, so this is an extremely good answer to a lot of Raven pressure. And even if Raven had just been psychic and blocked that, it would be, his punish on that would be like jab into sweep. Yeah, it's funny, both Johnny's invincible super and his dead angle are -6. There's a weird orb setup. Exerd's system mechanics are just better for Johnny too, from Vismund33. I think that's definitely true. Yeah, I'd imagine YRC coin is really good. See, that's the thing. Coin is actually such a fucking stupid projectile that it doesn't even need to be YRC'd. You can do that sometimes if you are doing it as like a meaty option and you want to screw up your opponent's inputs. But most of the reason why Johnny is so broken in this game is because he builds a shit ton of meter, and he has Zweihander YRC, which is the single most fucked up stupid YRC in the entire game, which is saying a lot. So he flings himself across the screen, and he hits you with a projectile, and if you blitz it, he can see that you're blitzing it and just throw you. If you can't backdash it because he moves so far backward, or if you do backdash it, somehow he can see that you're backdashing and just hit you with a move. You might not be able to blitz it, or you might be able to dead angle it, I mean, but in that case, he spent 25 meter and you spent 50, so that's good for him. And if you have the audacity to block it, you're eating a high-low air dash mix-up that other characters have to work for. And if you get hit by it, he gets a full combo. Oh my god, what a nice read. Yeah, so Johnny benefits a lot from the system mechanics of the game. Also, look at his meter. Look at his meter build here. I just want to focus in on that. Johnny ends this combo. He's got 1 1/3 bars, and I just look at how much meter he builds in like the next 2 or 3 seconds just from doing like moving forward. Look at that. Look at that. He went forward and backdashed, and that built him like half a bar, and then he got like 2 hits and it built another half bar. like the meter gain in this game can get very crazy. I don't know how much Johnny's tension pulse was cranked in this particular round, but like it's very easy for him to build a lot of meter. So he always has meter to funnel into his fucked up YRCs like that. Oh, you can also do YRC or Y-hand or YRC like really tall above your head, and then put you in block stun and just come down and do a mix. One of the best things that you can have in this game is like a secondary resource that you spend in place of tension, so that you build tension without having to go into tension penalty. Yeah, so in that case, Raven did a stance predictively. And Raven's stance is like a uniquely good option at dealing with stuff like that, because it ignores highs and mids and lows and whatever. Ooh. Johnny has so much silly shit in Exerd. Why did they give him Slayer's Big Bang Up from Accent Core? Look, whenever Johnny is not on the screen, people should be asking, where's Johnny? Yeah. Yeah, so I think in Revelator, that mist just would have led like to like an even worse unblockable, but in this game, I think they nerfed something about his air throw so that it's not as crazy fucked up. I think it used to be that he could combo off of air throw at certain heights, and now he can't do that, so he just gets a mist unblockable on you. Or a 40 out for the poor long-suffering Johnny players. Like, I'm not, yeah, God. Oh, that could have been death. Could have been death. That's okay, that's another thing. In plus R, Johnny's combos are a lot more conditional. In this game, so he gets combos to level 3 Mistfinder here, right? He spends level 3, refills level 3 because of the fucking sliding wall knockdown state that puts you into a restand state. And he goes for the low here, and you can see this is the fastest possible mist cancel. This is auto-timed. He doesn't have to do any execution here. And then, I mean, he drops it here, but this would have killed Raven because it would be an unscaled starter. He would have built 50 meter, so he could have ended it with super. I also remember him having a better instant overhead in this game than in plus R. In plus R, he has to only TK and Kasu, which you have to or RC in order to combo from. That's another part of it, yeah. Yeah, because in this game, level 2 and level 3 Mistfinder are, I mean, even level 1, because you can do them in the air. The downward Mistfinders are overhead, so he can do TKP Mistfinder, and that's just an overhead. And on level 1, there's no combo, but it's a knockdown. On level 2, I don't know what the combo is, and on level 3, it's just a launch for a full combo. Despite all that, listening while I practice on my mirrored hitbox. Mirrored. Oh, like it has... Oh, like the arrow keys, the direction keys are on the right, and the attack keys are on the left? That's interesting. So despite all the stuff we've been saying about Johnny being like super overpowered, Zadi has gotten off to an early lead in this set. Yeah, okay, that's a cool idea for a hitbox layout. Yeah, see there, boom. This is exactly the gameplay pattern that makes Johnny so scary in this game. I'm not going to spend the next 45 minutes bitching about this character, but it's like combo, 2 coins, immediate timing, no manual delay, nothing. Okay, he can now like almost kill you or set up an unblockable off of the next knockdown. Incredible. I mean, that's... Zadi got very lucky there that 2K Fares actually can't comboed against Johnny. I've had 2K hit people's backdashes so much, and Far S is like really unreliable. Now you're level. He's a level 3 again. Yeah, and Mistfinder never goes away either, so it's just like, oh, sweet, you traded with Mistfinder, cool, cool. I tell you, I've been a keyboard player since forever and have always played on the arrow keys. That's interesting. I started playing Exerd on a keyboard as well, but I used a WASD and I used the number pad for attack buttons. It felt really natural to me. It was 0, 4, 5, 6, enter, or maybe it was plus. Oh my god, whiff punish with command grab? That's crazy. Love, that's another thing about this game, which is different from Mistfinder in the older games. So this is like kind of a consequence of Exerd making projectile clashing more of a nuanced thing. Because in the older games, projectiles will just bump into each other and disappear. It wasn't a big deal. But in this game, they invented a system for projectile durability and projectile hits. So Mistfinder is not a projectile, but it has infinite projectile durability, so it just deletes projectiles and then keeps on going. You can see Raven gets hit here. Because, like, this is another thing that makes Johnny so hard to deal with for any character, because his big fuck you normal, or fuck you special move just deletes zoning. Oh my god, Zadi's spending so much hang on. Zadi spent like 50 meter and did like 3 dive kicks there, just so that he could not just die to Johnny dialing in an anti-air. Oh man. Yeah, like even at like people used to think that Johnny was like really hard to beat at level 3 Mistfinder, or at Mist level 3. But he was like okay at Mist level 2, but you saw at the end there, Mist level 2 still pops you up and he gets a full combo off of it. So, and he does get a lot more flexibility from Mist cancels on level 2 Mist, so it's still really, really strong. It still gives him all of the good stuff that makes his gameplay loop so difficult to deal with. Yeah. People were also a lot worse at bursting at in this era of the game. But like nowadays, I think if somebody were playing against Raven, I mean, sometimes you use burst because you feel like it, but at this point, I think most people would like try to burst at the more telegraphed points. Yeah, so I've had this particular interaction come up a shit ton, where Raven stances this YRC, or this YRC, and you have to stance back, and even then Johnny is still acting before you because he YRC'd before you, so it's dubious as to whether or not you can actually anti-air him. Yeah, there's another good example of close slash being unreliable in a block string. So 1, 2, 3. So this is like FDing on like 2 hits of a block string, and like the second hit of close slash would have whiffed. It's a very unreliable move, except for very specific combos and very specific block strings, which is weird because like people perceive it as being the single good plus on block normal that Raven has. But I've gotten away with more stuff from 2S than I have with close slash. Yeah, that's usually what happens when Johnny throws out coin. He just trades with you, and then that enabled this combo. It's a manageable matchup for Raven just because his normals are long enough and disjointed enough that they can compete with Johnny. There's another beautiful example of what happens when you try to armor stance through his YRC. Yeah, and like you don't necessarily get a punish on stuff even if you predict it and spend meter. That was actual footsies. That was crazy.
Good guard from Omito.
You can tell Zadi is doing a lot of pressure from about this range when he gets the opportunity to go in, because he's so concerned about Johnny just throwing out a normal and him just dying for it, because all of Johnny's normals are so fast. I got the double jump Oki. Oh, he dropped. That's a shame. Zadi's punishes on whiffed bursts are so much better than mine. Like, as soon as he sees the burst whiff, he just dials in the dash. I'm so bad at it because I just do... I've been hurt so much by me trying to do, like, dash up close S and mistiming it and getting, like, far S that doesn't combo. But you really can just do a little dash into 4P or 5K and it'll just work.
Waiting for Zadi's approach. He's willing to bob and weave those needles and pull his way. Be able to wait for the advance, be able to check it appropriately.
Yeah.
That's the main key. He's not wanting to get out the corner as soon as possible, but it's not
This is a little thing that is not explored as much. Zadi gets a hit here with 5H at like a low altitude. You can actually combo off of this. It's jump D. But you can just do jump forward, jump D, and you get the second hit. But people are a little less familiar with the game, so he tries to do jump S and it doesn't work. And that dropping a combo and whiffing a button forward is disastrous for Raven. I am also pretty sure that every time... That was a nice fucking combo. Every time Zadi does close slash, he's doing the jump cancel option select. Because that was known, like, in versions of Revelator. Or he's just hard baiting burst with stance because he just feels like it. Don't you love when you get the hit on somebody and then you get air thrown because your combo was messy? RC, yeah. Anti-air grab, yeah, very nice. Oh, he's doing the cool combo. This is awesome. I love that combo. I have like 10 clips of me doing that combo. So you go to, it has to be at least level 2 excitement. And that works consistently across heavyweights and, or sorry, midweights and lightweights. Heavyweights require level 3 in order for sweep scratch to work. So then you do sweep scratch ROC orb. And you did this slightly more stable variant there where you do dash far S anti-air grab. There's a marginally more rewarding but significantly less stable version of that combo that uses scratch, RRC orb, scratch, dash, or dash anti-air grab. In fact, I have a clip of me doing it and I'm going to bring that up. And there we go. So so this is just naturally burst safe, and I do the RC here. Wait, do I do that combo? I forget. Yes, I do. Yeah, okay. Oh, no, no, dang it, I just do, hang on. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, that was a slightly different corner situation. I got it mixed up in my mind. Actually, hang on. I do know. Yeah, okay. So here's what it looks like. So this is the opener is slightly different here, but it's the same principle where you do sweep into scratch RRC orb, scratch, and then he gets juggled into it. That was a less stable variant because it's super duper long range. You generally only get it to work consistently and stably if you have like maximum like 2 hits before the 2D. So if you get like glide hit, jump H, multiple hits, 2K, close S, 2D, then it's just not going to work because there's too much pushback. Shadow Vincent, love me some orb combos. I love orb combos too. They're some of my most favorite types of combos in this game. Yeah, okay, there's Raven doing or stance RSC, or YRC, and just barely surviving against Johnny. Oh yeah, this is another thing that was improved from Plus R, or the older games. So Johnny can do... So, they took away his need to do... What was it? I think it was Killer Joker FRC, or TK and Senga. They took away the execution from that, but they gave him a new thing, which is stance dash treasure hunt. So he goes into Mistfinder stance here. And then you can input the beginning of a Mistfinder dash, and then cancel, sort of Kara cancel that into Treasure Hunt, which is this super. And Treasure Hunt just gives him 2 coins, which is an improved version of Jackhound. Jackhound and Return Jack, which in Plus R just give him +1 Mistfinder level. I tell you, weird burst from Omito there. Oh, was there? Sorry, I was so busy I didn't even notice it. Once... Oh, we're at 54 seconds? I'm gonna go back and see what that burst was like for Omito then. Yeah, that was a weird burst. It does the air combo here. Oh, you know what? It might have been that Omito thought Zadi was going to do jump the first hit into scratch, or like jump H into scratch for damage. And so he was trying to burst on that, but Zadi wanted to do jump the 2 hits into scratch. Okay. I think that was it anyway. I'm not entirely sure what Omito's logic was for bursting in that exact moment, because he's generally been pretty reserved about bursting. Maybe he was just trying to do something weird, because he's had a lot of his bursts whiff. If it were me, it would just be a bad burst. Yes, but this is Omito. He's the greatest to ever do it. Don't you understand? I can't just say that Omito did a bad burst. Now, Summit, the chip player, he does bad bursts all the time. Oh, that was cool. You know, if there's one thing I really do enjoy about Raven in this game, it's that he has a lot of, like, semi-fake Oki, so it all tends to look real if you're not familiar with it. And I really enjoy having, like, a lot of visually deceptive Oki. It's some of my favorite stuff. Part of the reason why I don't like games that are more about timing, like Tekken is like this, and contemporary Street Fighter is like it as well. Oh my god, he's just whiffing. Yeah, Zadi is just very, very active, and this is a problem I have. I've beaten myself into being passive and defensive. So when it comes time to do a lot of action and just to just believe in yourself and just do things, I tend not to do as much as I should. Burst is a mechanic that you can use to dodge in certain situations. Very true. Zadi's really kicking his ass right now. Yeah, honestly, I mean, like, he was a very, very strong player. And this matchup was like, this was about as good as the matchup ever got. Oh, another fun fact, Mistfinder is never in counter hit. Mistfinder stance is never in counter hit state ever. So even if you somehow manage to hit Johnny out of attempting to do a Mistfinder, he just gets a normal hit. Oh god, oh god. See, now this is what my rounds against Johnny tend to look like. Or I just panic and then I mash and then I get hit and then I just die. Another thing that this has actually not come up Weren't Johnny and Raven better in Revelator? Johnny was, I mean, Raven was better because he was more one-dimensional, but in Rev 2.0 here, he had the benefits of his new excitement system and the one-dimensional Oki that just loops back into itself forever, like here. Whereas Johnny had gotten some small but somewhat meaningful nerfs in this version of the game, so he was a little different and a little weaker. Like, to be honest, I still think the matchup was always Johnny favored, but I think this was about as good as Raven ever got at fighting Johnny. Because I covered this at the start of the stream, but what was the... Yeah, so the missed unblockable was nerfed down to being stagger time only, which generally required Red Roman cancel to convert, I think. Yeah, that's a bit... Like, it's a small thing, but it is a weaker thing, because in Rev 2.1 they made it so that the amount of stagger time you get goes up with the Mistfire level, which is fucking stupid. Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck, you saw Johnny's godlike normal 2H there putting in tons of work. It's different from plus R. His 2H is airborne in this version of the game, so it beats throws, and it reaches all the way to the ground. It's like Grand Viper and Stun Dipper. And he can mist cancel it even at level 1 to get a frame trap, and he can use that frame trap to enforce a high-low air dash mix. Yeah, okay, that's the combo that Zadi was trying to do earlier, which was the combo that Omito was trying to burst. Yeah, and oh man, Johnny's air normals are still good as hell. So if he ever gets to scramble and do a tech forward button, you're going to be eating shit. Yeah, there we go. Discipline on Zadi's part not to mash throw there, because he would have eaten shit to Johnny doing 2H. Oh, was that it? Was that him doing 2H into air dash block string? Yeah, and he's at level... What is he at here? Level 2. So this isn't even as, like, the most fucked up version of this mix, and it's still giant fucking normal that takes up half the screen into air dash. God. I love Obama, or Majin Obama, doing commentary here, but it's really funny to walk back the clock and hear him say things like, "Oh, Johnny doesn't have that good movement here," because he does, and he always did. It's just that, like, I think it's the effects of the movement buffer or the universal input buffer in Exerd. It's so much easier for Johnny to do the hard stuff that the little points of friction, like having to commit to a forward dash in the old games and having to get like very precise spaced combos off of his hits, is so much less of a factor than it was in the old games. Oh yeah, and you can see Omito wearing his jacket because it's cold in the arcade, because they were doing this in December. They started in mid-December. And one of these matches actually takes place on Christmas Eve. And if you're not playing Guilty Gear on Christmas Eve instead of spending it with your girlfriend, don't talk to me about how much you love Guilty Gear. Okay, he instant blocked 5 times there. That's 150% meter gain. Let's look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 instant blocks, 150% meter. Watch Johnny's tension gauge. Like, what? He's done nothing. He's done like movement forward, and he has like, oh my god. Zadi making Raven's backdash look like it's not the worst in the game. Crazy. Richard Lewis grabbed by the neck. Yeah. Yep. And he's gonna have one more chance. Okay. He spends a burst. He can survive, I think, one more small hit. Never mind, he's gonna die off. Never mind, he's gonna die. Never mind, Johnny does so much damage. Only Teresa would actually care about it during this time. Oh, you mean like Christmas and his lack of a girlfriend? Quite possibly. But Haken, whom you're going to see later in this, one of the best Soul players to ever do it, he had a girlfriend. He actually had like fangirls, which is crazy. Johnny 5K is a fucked up button. Johnny 5K is a fucked up button. Oh, Johnny 6K is an even more fucked up button. Having fangirls for playing anime fighting games sounds insane nowadays. It does. But I mean, hey, Hawken's just so cool. He's just so cool. Oh fuck. How does this end? Okay, I think this might just be a Johnny round from here. Is he dead? No. Oh, empty in the damn, that was a straight mind game mix. Yeah, having fangirls for playing anime fighting games sounds insane. That would have been insane back in the day too. It was. Like, not everybody did, but Haken is just so cool and so aloof and dreamy that he has fangirls. He also smoked about 100 fucking cigarettes every time he played one of these sets. And the fucking ashtray was like overflowing with cigarette butts and ash by the time he was done. Johnny 6K is also a fucked up button. It is. It absolutely is. I hate that button so fucking much. Yeah, it's just a goddamn. I wish that Strive players hadn't ruined the definition of neutral skip, because Johnny 6K truly is a neutral skip. Omito Abysmond. Omito isn't even from there, so he traveled to play Guilty Gear on Christmas. That's dedication. I don't remember the day. It was 20... Oh yeah, this is on Christmas. The one that we're watching is on Christmas. And there's another one, Elfeld versus Faust, which is going to be Fuma versus Nage. Yeah, so this is Christmas. Omito traveling to play Guilty Gear in a shitty, grimy arcade on fucking Christmas. Oh, that was a sweet fucking combo. That might be the coolest combo I've ever seen Raven do. So he gets the Needle Wire C on an air hit, and because of the slowdown on Needle, this combo works. Notice how Johnny doesn't go anywhere horizontally? It's because Raven's Needle just halves all of your horizontal velocity under all circumstances, even in hit stun. So he gets to do this like behind the back combo. That's sick. That was so fucking sweet. I'm gonna let that play one more time. It's like, this is something that people felt was more common, and like was more cool about Raven. And I wish that they had like looked into this more as like a way to make his combos more interesting. Because you can get some amount of mileage out of it. Yeah, I should also point out, Raven's like weirdly, so again, Raven is like a character where you normally think of him as having very low damage, but he's like so good at cranking risk because he has so many big pokes with high attack levels. This is what, close slash 2K Forest 2H, not even Scratch. Scratch would have been like flashing risk bar. And then he just gets this hit. Ooh, look at all that, look at all that. Ooh, beautiful. I mean, Christmas also isn't a huge holiday in Japan, I'd imagine. It's getting bigger. Like, I think it's much bigger than it used to be. Like in the 20th century, nobody gave a shit. Oh, We're gonna do this? Yes, cool. That gives me 10 seconds. Christmas is a couple's holiday in Japan, so it's not as big as it is in the US, but it's almost like Valentine's Day. It's like culturally like spending Valentine's Day in an arcade, inhaling cigarette smoke. And even if the cities are interconnected and you get to take the bullet train, like it's still a statement, you know? Imagine Obama begging for nerfs to Raven. Well, you got him, and I have to live with them. And they make sense. They're sensible. Just J. Raven needs to be in Strive. I think I would like to see Strive people play against Raven. It would be really funny. I don't think he's ever going to come, though, because Raven is like the most anti-Strive character. I still think it's weird that you eat fried chicken with your girlfriend on Christmas. Oh yeah, see, well, I'm not entirely sure what that is, but here's that that behind the back scratch, and that's what it normally does to Johnny, and he's way too far away. I wonder what they'd remove or add to fit Raven and Strive. I think if they did anything, or if they ever did bring him, they'd probably just make him into like a... They'd make Glide like a command move or something. They'd give him like a weird normal air dash, and then Glide would be like a stance or something. Sorry, I got like 10 chat messages there. But that is why he would be fun in Strive, because he's an anti-Strive character. Yes, that would be really fun. Yeah, sort of like how Slayer is like basically just being Slayer as he always has been. Not you specifically, Japanese people. Oh, the fried chicken thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Chicken is like a big traditional Christmas food, so it doesn't seem weird to me to eat fried chicken. It's cooked weirdly, but you know, whatever. Maybe like sitting at the KFC eating fried chicken would be kind of weird on Christmas. I play Exerd. It's just hard to find any matches without getting kicked out after every match. Crying emoji. I understand. I understand absolutely. The Exerd online experience is like the worst in any fighting game, and if you put up with it, God bless you. I hate to do this, but you should join the Rev2 Matchmaking Hub Discord if you want matches, because that I never have to wait more than like 5 or 10 minutes for a game through there, and the people there actually care about the game. That's the one you want to look for. Plus R just strangely keeps on living somehow. Just a testament to that game, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the Plus R, the fact that Plus R is like $3, and most people who have it acquired it for $3, and it has like 0 barrier to entry, is a huge reason as to why the game lives. Being about Raven and Strive. Being anti-Strive doesn't mean anything in Strive. If Raven came to Strive, he would have been completely assassinated as a character, like many other Exerd characters that aren't Leo Whitefang. That's very true. I think about like Strive Kai or Strive Potemkin. Like they could just like nerf everything that made him interesting into the ground, and just call it a character because he has like, ooh, the stance. Yeah, it's very hard to burst Johnny during those combos. What's Rev2 Matchmaking Hub specifically? Rev2 Matchmaking Hub is a Discord server. If you're asking for an invite, I guess I can grab one.
Taking his time at the character select. Fixing his posture.
Might be on Dust Loop now, I'm thinking about it.
これはもうあまりにも熱い試合の連続で鳥肌が立っている。
Okay. This is the general Exerd Discord. That's all. First of all, let's see if the link works. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Got all that. Okay, that was a sweet combo, and this round has been going on, so I'm gonna rewind to the start of this round. Just Jay. I wish Kai had his Exerd jump D. I do too, man. I do too. Okay. Oh my. Okay. Oh, sort of semi-bait on the blitz. Oh god, weird, messy throw. Okay. 6H? 6H can... Oh, far S. Yeah, okay. And far S is an unscaled starter. It's a couple frames faster than most pokes at that range, so you get this off of it. Rare drop from Omito. Oh, suffering from success. You got such a good counter hit with 5H that the grab doesn't work. I have that happen to me all the goddamn time. Whenever I 2H people with Raven, it always seems to counter hit and I never get the grab. Cool, might check it out someday. I would recommend like at least joining the Rev2 Matchmaking Hub Discord just because it's nice to be in there. It has very little of the usual Discord bullshit. It's just people who want games and people talking about the game. Oh god, this is so much fucking damn. And okay, this combo does so much more than it looks like because Raven Guts kicks in around here, and between Johnny getting the start, what is that, starter with Coin, I think? Yeah, so he starts with Coin, and Coin is supposed to screw up the damage scaling in a combo and make it do less damage. But he gets hit by Coin, which... Oh god, it's so much. So this... Without risk, I genuinely think this combo would have done like this much damage. Maybe like this much. But this just blows through most of Raven Guts, so this effectively did like probably an additional like 20 to 30% just phantom damage. Yeah, you're dead. That's a Johnny round. Omito done a great job identifying Zadi's habits, and now he's in the lead for the first time in the set, I think, actually. How is Raven against Johnny? I covered this at the start, so you can go back and watch the video, but the basic idea is that Raven has really stable set play that Johnny cannot just mindlessly backdash. And in this version of the game especially, you can put the projectile on him and stabilize things a lot. So it's actually decent. I would say it's like almost even or slightly in Johnny's favor in this version of the game. In the current version of the game, Raven's worse, Johnny's better. So it's a little bit... It's definitely Johnny favored, as all of Johnny's matchups are. But Raven is a character who has normals that can actually compete with Johnny, so you can still enforce a little bit of respect on him. Oh my god, the risk bar getting cranked? Oh, but you got thrown. You got thrown. Oh god, anti-air with 2H, the fucking dragon punch? Who gave this man a dragon punch on a normal? What happened there? So Zadi bursts, throws out the orb, does... Okay, so he does the glide predictively just because he expects Omito to stand there and not swing. Omito does Y. He gets hit by the orb, hit by the glide, and then Raven goes underneath him. Lovely. Johnny having dust loops is also really funny. It is. Like, as much as I hate fighting Johnny, he's a really cool character to watch, and that helps a lot. It's not like plus R Zappa or plus R Testament where they just vomit hurt boxes all around the screen and I'm just watching a cutscene. Ooh, nice. Zadi kind of got blinded by his own meter there. I think he was expecting Omito to do like a basic meaty Oki thing so he could spend his meter on a dead angle or a super. And Omito just cut right through that and went for a throw. Good lord. Raven might get stunned, yeah. Raven, yeah. Raven, one of the second lowest stun rating in the game. So that kind of stuff can happen. Actually, seeing this talk about matchmaking makes me wish we had functional 64 people lobbies in Exerd. Yeah, I wish Exerd's net infrastructure was functional. It's a real shame that, like, the most it ever had, the most I've ever seen people use the online lobbies in this game was when Maury Calliope, the fucking Vampire Queen VTuber anime girl, was just running a private lobby, or running a stream, because she likes Exerd. She's not terribly good at it, but she does like it, which is a lot more than I can say for a lot of VTubers. Visman33, I'd rather play against Johnny than any other top tier, TBH. You know, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I've been playing against some of the plus, the like super plus top tier characters in Street Fighter 6. And honestly, even though that game is technically quote unquote more balanced, it, like, the top tiers just feel so friggin' obnoxious sometimes. I'm mostly talking about like Akuma and arguably Mai. I don't mind Mai as much because she just does anime mix and I'm used to it, but if I were a Street Fighter player and I did not like blocking anime mix, I can see how Mai would be very frustrating. At very least we got rollback. Yes, I'm happy that the game has rollback and that you can use mods to make it mostly functional. Oh my god, that's a shame. Yeah. The zero execution overhead that leads to a full combo and refills your coins. Seems pretty good, bro. It seems better than doing TK and Senga RC and then having to do a fiddly combo afterwards. I swear I'm not trying to bitch about Johnny all the time, but like, god, everything is so overtuned in this game. That's another fun fact. So Zadi does something extremely brave here and he wakes up with stance. This is like this isn't even a reversal. This is just Omito being like super late because he's trying to freestyle the Oki. And Zadi eats 2 hits. That was far slash, dash up, close slash. Omito wanted throw here and he was throw installing or like throw OSing with close slash. And then he does dash up throw again because he correctly reads that Zadi is going to want to preserve his purple life and be defensive because he has no meter. So he gets this throw, and that purple life does not have any guts or any damage scaling applied to it. So it just evaporates as soon as you take any damage, which is a huge deal for Raven because at this point in his life bar, normally guts would be kicking in a little bit harder if he had had that purple life. And you can see all the difference it made. Oh, you're eating unblockable here. What's for dinner? Let's see how this set ends on the unblockable. So, missed. They're eating. This is meaty coin, I believe. 2 meaty coins. Okay. Zadi wakes up with Blitz to deal with the coin. Yeah, and you can just barely see it. The second coin is actually going to pass through him because he's completely invincible from the Blitz. Yeah, see, there's the second coin. Johnny's running up, and he sees the Blitz here, and he knows that Zadi is a tap blitzer. But the second coin still hits. I'm curious about this, because he gets, how much is it? 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... 12, 13, 14. I missed it. Okay, so I guess his 20 frames of invincibility run out and the coin is still active, and that's why he gets hit. Oh no, sorry, this is his frame 1 of his excitement stance. He was trying to do tap blitz into excitement stance. That's why he gets counter hit, because the coin is still active. And then that counter hit leads to this combo. Or no, it leads to this situation where Johnny just sticks out 5k and then block strings him into the actual unblockable that he just spent all of his meter trying to avoid. Yeah, there we are. Well, that was very well played by Omito and by Zadi. That was a great clinic of the matchup, and it's a great example of how people played this matchup back in the day and how people perceived the game. Because Johnny is like the super duper top tier, but because he has this body of knowledge that are required to do, he's not nearly as common as you might think. How much time do we have left here? 3 minutes? Alright, I'll let this play. Yeah, and you can see that Zadi is playing the matchup, and did play the matchup, in exactly the way that Raven needs to. Be unpredictable, be squirrely, make it hard for Johnny to get the good hits and the stability of the set play. Because it's much easier for Raven to do something stably than it is for Johnny. Or at least that was the perception. As the game has been more optimized, we've all kind of realized that Johnny is like really good at making things stable. And as the game went on and Omito got warmed up and comfortable, you saw he was doing that. Shadow Vincent. One of the few nitpicks I have with Revelator is that I think it's weird that they never ported over the science stages, since I think a lot of them look cooler than their Revelator counterpart. Yeah. You know, 15 fucking years from now when they make Rev 3 Ultimate Deluxe Edition, I really hope that they bring in the science stages. Because I would love to have them even as the option. Because Edinburgh Magicopolis looks so much better with the nighttime. I think it was part of the shift to make the game less super duper animu and more just like sort of anime. But a lot of the stages do look really nice. And I think I prefer the way Sign Downtown looked, because the Revelator version of Downtown is extremely orange. A lot of stages in Revelator are very orange, actually. But regardless, yeah, Zadi's being very polite. Yeah. That was a good game. And that was very close. That final score was 10-9, which essentially means it could have gone either way. Or was it 10-8, actually? Pardon me. Oh, sorry, it was 10-7. Sorry. I was just inventing stuff. Yeah, but it was still pretty close. It felt like the hits were mostly earned. It felt like both players had a very solid handle on things, and it was a beautiful glimpse back in time. Orange is my favorite color. That is acceptable. Orange is one of my favorite colors as well. Alright, well, in the meantime, that's it for today's stream. I've been doing this for about an hour and a half. Well, like 10 minutes before. So that was about an hour and 20. That was shorter than last time, which is good. I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same channel. And thanks for tuning in. The next one we have upcoming is going to be Elfalt played by Fumo versus Faust played by Nage. I'm pretty sure, right? Yes. So that's going to be good, because Nage was a terror demon in this version, in this era of the game. So it's going to be fun to see Faust. See you guys later. Take it easy.